This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I am your host, Brandy, the Millennial Manager, and today is Wednesday. If you are inside of Patreon, if you are outside of Patreon, it's Friday, and your ass is listening to this late, okay? Get your ass over to Patreon so you can listen early. Also, I am not taking any outside emails today. The only email I am taking is from Patreon. Okay, so I got it locked and loaded. Today we are going to be talking about some good ass shit. You might say, every episode is good as hell. I know. Thank you so much for saying that. But listen, no, seriously. I want to talk about something that is very important because when we accept a job, let's start over actually. When we apply for a job, we get selected for the interview goes great. You feel like, you know what, this is going to be a great opportunity, right? You know it. It's going to be good. And then they call you back. They send you that offer letter. You accept. It's the salary that you want. It's the position that you want. And then you start. And y'all know what the fuck happened? You hate the job. You absolutely hate it. You don't like the people. You don't like the actual work or responsibility. It is not near what you thought, or maybe it's just boring, right? Whatever your reason is for not liking this job, you're here, okay? It doesn't matter how you ended up here. We know you're here, okay? So now let's talk about grief, because now we're mourning the career or the opportunity that we thought we were going to have. We're mourning that chance. And you have to go through the stages of grief with this job as well. The first step of any grieving process is denial. It's not that bad. I'm just a little sleepy today. I'm just a little cranky today. Maybe I'm still adjusting. Bitch, you've been here for 7 months. You're not adjusting. No, you're dying on the inside, okay? You are a zombie, all right? That is exactly what's happening. Then once you get over that, you're like, you know what? I'm pissed. And your anger is not necessarily, it's not justified, or not justified. It is justified, but it's misplaced, right? You're getting angry about shit that is really not worth your energy, but somehow it has triggered you and you have a very emotional response for something that would not normally throw you over the edge, okay? Like a fucking spreadsheet or something. You mad as hell about ROIs. You mad as hell about the KPIs. You are just mad as hell about something that can easily be fixed, but you're overreacting. And it's not necessarily the spreadsheet. It is because you know you hate this fucking job. And your anger is just manifesting in a different way. Then you start bargaining. You say, you know what? This is kind of like half acceptance, right? Acceptance is the last stage, but this bargaining is like, when you're like, you know, if I just get through this... If I just get through this month, if I just make it through this quarter, things are going to get better. This is very much like denial. It's kind of like denial and acceptance together. Okay. Bargaining, you are feeling like, okay, if I just get through this one situation, if I get through this one obstacle, everything is going to be exactly what I hope for, or it's going to be better. Okay. It may not necessarily be exactly what you want, but it's going to be a better situation. Maybe once you get done with this project, but I'm just here to tell you, honey, it's not. It's actually not going to get better. It's not. You hate the job. Okay, the job or the issue that you have with the job is not like the duties and all this other stuff. You just don't like it. You just don't like it. And you need to accept that. Okay? You need to accept that. Then you're going to go into depression, which is sadness. You're sad. Now, I feel like once you get to sadness or depression, that's when you start to see it really affect your outside life. And this is why I talk a lot about work-life boundaries and work-life balance. It's a real thing. I don't care what anybody tries to tell you. You can do it. Does it take a lot of effort in being intentional? Yes. But you can have a balance. But when you start to enter this phase of depression, sadness, this is when you start to see it, affect your outside life. You stop going out with friends, you stop hanging out, you stop doing things that are, based in self-care. You stop really doing the things that you enjoy. And then you kind of go through a pity process in this same phase. Is this my life? How did I get here? You are dreading going to work, crying, going to work. And you just kind of live in this very sad place. It's like Inside Out, but all the time. Like the several emotions that the young girl was going through, you are sadness. Okay? And it's like all the time. It doesn't go away. Joy does not come out to save you, to help you understand. And joy is actually delusional. So that's kind of the bargaining part of this and denial. But you are very sad because you've went through the denial process, the anger process, the bargaining process. And now I feel like this is where people realize, like, this is some bullshit. This is fucked up. And you start getting mad at yourself and feeling like, how did I make this terrible decision? How did I make this choice? When sometimes you cannot foresee everything, guys. And you got to be okay with that. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Sometimes there is a veil on things and you just won't know until you get there. You won't. And you got to be okay with the consequences and not beat yourself up with your choices. Do you understand? Say yes. Because there's somebody right now beating themselves up that they accepted this job. And when I get those type of emails, I try not to lay it on thick anymore because I know you already beating yourself up. I know you're frustrated. I know you're irritated with your decision. You just need to make some better ones. But it's not something that's going to take you out and not something that you should be really beating yourself over, or beating yourself up about. Okay, you can get through it. All right, it's a decision that everybody has to make. Everyone has chosen a bad job, and anybody that says that is a damn liar or says that they have not. I said it in my mind, but you know what I'm saying. Anyone who has claimed that they have never selected a bad job, never had a bad experience in corporate America, I would feel like they are either at the tip top with some, incredible connections, okay? Or they are just in denial. They're still in their denial phase about some of the decisions that they make. And you can't make them get to, the bargaining or even the last step acceptance. They have to go through it just like you did. So if you're talking to people and they're minimizing your situation, making it feel small, no, it's not small. It's a problem. Now that you have kind of went through your depressing sadness, you done went through denial, you done went through anger, bargaining, okay? Because what the fuck? If I just get through this, it's going to end. You get to acceptance. And you're like, okay, I'm here. What can I do about this? How can I fix this? How can I improve this? And this is where the light turns on for you. It's a lot of people still struggling in the depression process. Maybe you are even in the anger process at the very, very beginning of not liking whatever this job is. Maybe you are in the beginning of that, and that's okay. Acceptance is coming. But this is where you can actually do some actionable things to get you out of this situation. Number one, applying. Okay. Hopefully you have kind of understood what was happening and started applying immediately. But a lot of times that is not the case, because you know that, well, I've been at this job for 6 months. I'm not going to be able to leave, or I've only been at this job for 30 days and I'm not going to be able to find anything else that gives me the salary. And that's how people kind of go through those stages. And once you get to acceptance is where you're like, okay, I need to give myself, it's brand new, I just got here, I don't want to necessarily job hop, then I need to give myself a deadline. What is the deadline that you're giving yourself? This is where action really starts to happen. Okay, these have to be actionable items that you can actually complete, that you can do. Set a goal for yourself. Well, in 6 months, I'm going to be leaving here. Do you need to announce it? Hell no. You keep it to yourself. You don't tell anybody that that's what you plan on doing. You get yourself a little notebook and you write it down. In 6 months, this is my plan for myself. In 6 months, I want to be in a new place of employment that has these things or a few of these things, because we know we cannot get 100%. Don't be Delulu. Okay? I'm going to need you to actually be in reality. Don't look at what could be. No, actual. Okay? What can actually happen? You're going to get about 3 of those things. If you have 5, you're going to get about 3. Something is better than what? Thank you. Okay? Because right now you're getting none. You understand? And taking some helps you be able to fill in how you can get all 5. Okay? Whatever those things are. If it's a higher salary, better work-life balance, no late hours, maybe they offer really good comp time, maybe they have really good vacation, maybe whatever it is, whatever those top 3 things are, top 5 things, try to get at least 3 of them. This is where networking comes into play. This is where building a community inside of your job market, as well as tapping into connections that you have made outside. So now that you have made it through all of those hard times of denial, you've made it through anger where you were mad as hell, right? Denial, there was still a veil there. And you're like, it's me actually. And you're not completely wrong. The people who actually work there, they're meant to be there. And if they love it, good.
This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
For them, you are the one that is out of place, especially if this is a environment that is full of chaos. If they love chaos, they love the adrenaline that they get from chaotic work, you are the one that is out of place. Okay? It is not them. They're not going to change the work environment to suit one person. But you can find an environment that lacks that quality. You don't want that. You want a work environment that is not going to raise your blood pressure, okay, on the regular. You don't want that. So seeking a network, communicating with your friends. If you have people who are also in corporate America, they understand. It is very hard to communicate with people who don't necessarily understand the plight of working and having to do the things that you do. So you need to be more around people who understand. And you can still have those people who don't, because it's good to have balance. But you need to talk to people who actually understand what the work structure looks like in corporate America, because that's how you're able to really bounce ideas off of them, be able to have a sense of community when you don't necessarily feel that you do have one. When you're at work, it's hard to get when you are the person who is the outsider inside of the workplace. So I definitely hope that for those of you who are going through this, please stop beating yourself up. It is a normal step that everyone has to take in their career. Okay? You have to not like your job, or at least one of them, because then it helps you raise the standard for the next crop of jobs that you are going to accept. You know what not to do now, and you actually need to apply the information that you've learned from this environment to your next place of employment. Okay? Thank you. Let's read our email from one of my Patreon listeners. Hey, Brandy, I am one of your biggest fans and a proud Patreon member. Girl, thank you. Thank you, my girl. All right, let's see what she's talking about. I've been following your advice and it has helped me with my career, but now I need your input. Here's the background. I have been working at Boop, okay? Because y'all know we don't tell that. We don't tell that. As a data analyst for 3 years, and I've been on my current team for 2 years. The team never took a liking to me. I was the only Black woman on the team, and other than the managers, I hold the most advanced degrees. Plus, the company is known to promote from within, and the company she is mentioning, yes, I think everybody knows that. Like, anybody that I've ever talked to about this particular organization, they love to promote from within. So the people who run it, they have all started at the beginning. Let's keep going. So plus I know the company is well known for promoting from within, and I was seen as an outsider. I figured with time that they would get over it, but spoiler alert, they did not. My manager and I have gotten along okay for the most part. But last year, I did have to report her to HR because I asked a work-related question, and then she responded by asking if I was having problems in my personal life. Now, what the hell do they have to do with the price of rice? But okay, let's continue. This year, her behavior towards me has begun to deteriorate substantially. She started writing me up for having doctor appointments, even though I told her about them and put them on my calendar. I took your advice and got FMLA. She began micromanaging me and found fault in every project I worked on. 2 weeks ago, I got my performance eval, which was terrible, and she told me that I am no longer allowed to work remotely 2 days a week. In March, I found an error that was costing the company millions, and she took credit for my work and made no mention of it on my eval. I know you're going to tell me to dust off my resume and get to applying, which I have been. My question is, should I report her behavior as retaliation, go to the EEOC, or just not rock the boat and keep quiet until I find something else? I have decided that I no longer want to work for this company, but I also want to keep myself sane until I can replace the income from this job. Signed, Betty. Betty, I want you to be very careful with this. And let me tell you why. I would not go to HR because she went to HR to get your access revoked to work remote. She already did that. So it's already planted in their minds that you are a bad employee because they believe her. Instead of doing their own investigation, instead of discussing things with you, instead of sitting the two of y'all down, she decided to go around you and went straight to HR, and they bought her shit. So you have to be very careful if you are deciding to report her for retaliation, because it could go even further. Okay, they may launch an investigation and they may say, well, we haven't found anything, because they're already on her side. But then that puts a target on your back, just like that report did. Okay, so you kind of know what type of department you are dealing with when it comes to HR and how successful your communicating with them is going to be, because you've already seen the movie. It may just been a little glimpse, but you've already seen it, and you just need to kind of apply some of those pockets of information to create like the full synopsis of what this is going to look like if you were going to do it. And this is just from the hints that I got from your email. Okay. This particular company that she works at is notorious for their amazing customer service, the quality, and all that stuff. Like, everybody rants and raves about this place. However, the treatment of employees is totally fucking different. That's a totally different story. The way they treat people who spending money versus the way they treat people who are paying it, totally different. Okay. Now, I will say I would continue to document, even though we are not going to take this to HR because we know what type of people we're dealing with. I would say file a claim with the EEOC. And here's the thing. Be ready for a long wait. It is not going to happen overnight. Some people are still waiting for their cases to even be discussed with one of the representatives from the EEOC from the last year. Like, it takes a minute. When you do it, it is not something that happens immediately unless it happens to land on a department that is adequately staffed and we know what's happening within the federal government. Okay? All of that is by design. It is to benefit big business. Okay? It does not benefit the employees, what's happening inside of the EEOC, inside of the Department of Labor. Okay? So if you were to file that claim, you just let it sit. You still continue to search for your job. And if you want to sue them for creating a hostile work environment, include her in that lawsuit once the EEOC finishes their investigation, then absolutely move forward. It's some type of action that you can take, even though you are planning to leave. Okay? They don't tell them that you filed the complaint. They don't do that. Not right away. It takes a really long time for them to even get to you. And then also to let your employers know that it was you that filed that complaint. You could even be gone from there before the situation actually takes root. So that's what I'm saying. Right? Continue to document, and then also make sure you file your claim with the EEOC. I do feel like you do have a claim for retaliation, hostile work environment. I do feel that way. I absolutely do. It's just how you go about it is the question. So if you decide to take it to HR, it could end like I described in the beginning, but going the route of the EEOC, smiling and waving like the penguins of Madagascar until it's time for you to leave. Okay? That may be what you need to do. All right? She is a slime. Okay? Even if you went to HR and they tried to make her improve, she's not. She's a liar. She took credit for your work. She did not even acknowledge that you are the person who found out that the company was spending millions when they could have been saving them. Okay? She did not even acknowledge that you were the person that did that. So you really think that she's going to change her behavior because of a little slap on the wrist from HR? No, she is not. She's actually going to continue with her bad behavior because they are not going to get rid of her. Okay? Unless it costs them money. And the only way to cost them money is through a what? Lawsuit. Okay? So thank you very much to my amazing Patreon member for this amazing email. We may need to start doing these. Like, Patreon gets first pick with the emails. I actually love this. Sometimes the emails can be very similar, so I'm not going to pick some of the same topics, but this was really good. So thank you so much for your email. I really hope this situation works out for you, and I really hope that you are staying mentally healthy through this process, because it can be really draining to encounter management like that. That's just a fucking nightmare. It really is. So I really hope that you are taking care of yourself mentally during this process, and I hope everything works out in your favor. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good ass day, and I'll see y'all later on social media, or you can listen to another episode of the podcast. For anyone who is not in Patreon, I don't know why. What are you doing? It's $6. Make sure you join Patreon so you can get exclusive access to early episodes. And then also we have lives. We go live twice a month because I cannot keep up with the once a week. That's too much for me. And then also email access. Look at that. She just got her email. She sent it to me the other day. it was already geared up for this episode. So make sure you send your email in and make sure you let me know that you are a Patreon member, okay? So that I can pull that email. All right, y'all have a good ass day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.